All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Saturday or Sunday if you're watching this tomorrow. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about the NFL. We've got two games tomorrow as we work our way towards the Super Bowl. We've got the AFC and the NFC championship game. So first game on the card is going to be the Commanders and the Eagles. So we're going to talk about those. If you guys haven't yet joined the Discord, absolutely free. If you haven't watched the NBA video, go watch that. Good start in college basketball. We went 3 for 3 so far on the plays I gave out. Kentucky's in a little bit of a hole, so we need them to come out real strong in the second half. But looking good overall, and we hit our first NBA play. So good start. Let's get into this Commanders and Eagles game. We look at the weather, pretty good. I mean, weather for both games, not bad. We're going to see, I wouldn't say high temperatures, but we're going to see mid-upper 30s. So not bad for this time of the year, given it's in Kansas City and Philadelphia. So we'll take the weather. A little bit of wind, but nothing I'm too concerned about. We'll start with this Commanders defense. So where are they vulnerable, right? So they give up a decent amount of tight end touchdowns. Gee, I wonder who that could be. So maybe a little Kelsey anytime touchdown, but they also give up a lot of wide receiver touchdowns as well. Not Kelsey, good God. Thinking of the other game. Eagles. So it could be, you could look at Dallas Goedert would be your person there. Maybe Calcaterra? I don't know. I'm not going to pick it, but could do that. A.J. Brown, obviously Devonta Smith. So could see some plays there. My only concern with Philadelphia is Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. If we just look over his playoff runs, he doesn't throw it a lot, right? That's why we see passing, last I looked, was like 180 something. Frankly, I think he probably goes under. So I don't really want to take any wide receiver prop for Philly, just given the low passing yards. He's probably going to throw for like 130, 140. There's a decent chance of that. I think we're going to get a very heavy dose of Saquon. And I think Jalen runs. I know he had the knee issues last week, but that said, I think he comes back healthy-ish, right? This time of the year, I don't think anybody's healthy per se. But I think he shows up and ready to play. Now, if we look at the Commanders, they do give up a decent amount of passing touchdowns, 22nd in the league in passing touchdowns allowed, but they're 5th in passing yards allowed. So there's an angle for you. Rushing yards, they give up a ton of rushing yards. They're 27th in rushing yards to running backs, 16th to quarterbacks. There's some avenues there. They're 23rd in running back touchdowns. Obviously, that bodes well for Saquon. Obviously, if you want to look at him as a straight bet, you got to take 2+. I don't mind it. They give up a decent amount of rush attempts. So we're going to see a very heavy run game from the Philadelphia side. Commander side, Jaden Daniels has been extremely impressive. Let's be honest. He has been pretty accurate. He's been able to use his legs and make plays down the field while he's scrambling. That said, you got a very, very good Philly defense. So we'll have to see kind of how that looks. A couple injuries on the Commander side of the ball that concerns me a little bit. So for me in this one, I'm going Eagles minus the 6. We'll see, but I think it's going to be a tight game just because I don't think we're going to see a ton of Jalen Hurts throwing the ball down the field a lot. So an over-under of 47.5, I would lean towards the under. I think there's going to be a lot of runs in this game, especially on the Philly side of the ball. All right, so let's move on to the Bills and the Chiefs. I love this game. Will the refs treat this game fairly? I don't know. A lot of issues around the refs. If you look, I think it's what did I see the other day? 11 straight postseason games where the Chiefs have had less fouls than the other team. I don't know. Conspiracy theory, potentially. But no, I like the Bills in this one. We saw them beat them in November at their home field. Now, how did they do that? They controlled the clock. I think for Buffalo, we're going to see some long sustained drives, nothing crazy. I think Allen's going to use his legs. We saw that in the last game against the Ravens. He was able to use his legs to open up the field a little bit. So to me, this is a Bills game. I like the Bills. Very high on them. I know they're playing in Kansas City. Maybe I have a personal bias against Kansas City as well. I'll admit it. I want to see the Bills win. So Bills plus 1.5. I'll take that. I just go Bills money line at plus 110 as your best value there. But I do like them in this spot. In terms of Kansas City, they just offensively haven't looked great, in my opinion, throughout this playoffs, throughout the last 5 or 6 weeks. They've been a little bit off. I think Kelsey has a great day. It's Travis Kelsey in the playoffs, right? I think he does come around. But if we look at their run game, That's where you can really expose the Bills, is through the run. However, you have Pacheco, who has been extremely ineffective, and then you have Kareem Hunt, who has also been pretty ineffective for the most part. So I don't think they're necessarily going to be able to move the ball like other teams have against Buffalo. So it's going to come down to Mahomes passing, and I've liked the way that the Bills have looked. I just think that they are ready to take that step in the playoffs, and I think they unseed the Chiefs. That's just my angle. It is a biased view. I want the Bills to win, so I'm sure there's some bias in there. Not a huge Chiefs fan. So that's kind of my take on this. We say an over-under of 48.5. I think, like I said, if the Bills want to win, they need long, sustained drives. They've got to kill the clock. Kansas City, like I said, I just don't think they're going to have a ton of success running the ball. So I'd actually lean towards the under 48.5 in this one. That's just my opinion, right? I don't think it's necessarily going to be a huge shootout where we're seeing 2, 3, 4 play scores. I think they're going to be more longer drives where we're seeing 8+ plays to score touchdowns on both sides of the ball. All right, so let's get into best bets. This was given out in the Discord already, so they have had this since yesterday, I believe. But I will give you guys this. And then there's defensive sheets I put out too that just kind of show ranking-wise where you can expose them. I had to make this kind of bigger so you could see, but it goes out further. But first play I like is going to be Isaiah Pacheco over 7.5 rush attempts. I know I said I don't think they're going to have success running the ball. They're still going to have to run the ball. Pacheco should see a decent amount of goal line carries. He's also going to get some carries at the beginning of drives. It seems to me Kareem Hunt kind of comes in as they get closer to that 1-2 yard line, which is crazy because I do love the way Pacheco runs the ball. He runs hard. Very fun to watch him run the ball. Next play is going to be Austin Eckler over 46.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Brian Robinson is highly ineffective going up against its Eagles defense, even more so. So they need somebody that can be a pass catching threat. So I do think he sees increased playing time. We saw him go over this line. He had 88 total rushing and receiving yards versus Detroit. So I like him in this spot. And then we have Josh Allen, anytime touchdown at -115. I think it's Allen time. We didn't see Cook get in the end zone last week. It was Josh Allen all the way. We should see something similar today. I think with the game on the line or in that goal line, go with your big guy. He is pretty much unstoppable there. And then the next play is going to be another Austin Eckler over 5.5 rush attempts. He's had 8 and 6 over his last 2 games. And like I said, Brian Robinson should be rendered pretty ineffective in this game, but they're still going to have to run the ball a little bit. Next play is going to be Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals. I don't know why I put Washington. That should be Philly. But his plus money, he's over this in 6 straight games. Going to be kicking in his home field. I know he's had some issues, right? There is some question marks around him. But I think he gets right here. And last play is going to be Jalen Hurts over 10.5 longest rush. I also don't mind his over in rushing yards. About 30.5 right now. I know he's hurt. I still think he has to scramble. 10.5 should be a line he can cover, especially at -114. So good value there. One play that didn't make the card that I really like is going to be Curtis Samuel over 15.5 receiving yards for Buffalo at -115. He's really came around over the last 5 or 6 games. I believe he's had 2+ receptions in 4 of the past 5. So that is a good spot there. I was just getting a text that Kentucky is on an 8-0 run, so we love it. But yeah, I do have a lean towards Samuel over 15.5 receiving yards, a lean towards Jalen Hurts over in his rushing yards. But like I said, if I had to pick winners in this game, which I will be betting on winners, I'm definitely going to go with Bills money line, Philadelphia -6, like the under in both games. So those are my plays, guys. Like I said, if you want some other plays, you want to see betting slips I have, join the Discord. I will post those. We have some no sweat parlays coming up. I'll post mine in the Discord and look forward to seeing you guys there. Awesome community. I don't know where we're at now. It's growing pretty good, so it's getting awesome. NHL plays in there. SAS still crushing the NHL, so hope to see you guys in there. If not, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.